Greetings everybody, it's Rob from Stage Tower Games and we are back with another Pathfinder 2nd edition video. This one continuing our little talk and story about the Pathfinder 2e beginner box, as my group of new players who have never played tabletop or Pathfinder before really kind of play through and learn how to play Pathfinder 2nd edition. Now, the last episode we saw the party struggle quite a bit with the Cinder Rat encounter, almost dying quite a bit there with how much damage that rat did. This episode, surprisingly, went quite a bit differently. There's only two major fights that they did in this episode. One was against a series of Zolgats, which weren't that bad, and the main purpose of this fight in the beginner box, if you will, is to introduce auras and to introduce the Sicken condition. Now, Sicken condition is a very dangerous condition. It does do a lot of stuff. It gets a pretty strong debuff, and they definitely struggle with it because it's a pretty high DC even at level 1. I think it was a DC 20 or so to actually get past the condition. But they were able to get past that fight pretty quickly. I think now that the witch is learning about electric arc and how good that cantrip is, it really helps quite a bit. There was another puzzle room which they were able to, based on perception, they were able to determine that it was a trap. They were able to navigate around the trap, and then they went into the room full of kobolds. Kobolds, even though there was quite a few of them, and they did all sorts of crazy antics and such, they did dispose of them pretty quickly. They had low HP, so as long as either the fighter or a spell did hit pretty well, it would take them down pretty quickly. And this set them up for the next episode, which would be where they'll go into the final two fights against the kobold boss and against the green dragon wormling. Now, what's important about this episode, besides the little encounters, is the book suggests that they should probably at this point level up to level 2. It makes it easier for when they go into the next fights, because then the next fights won't be as hard at level 2 compared to level 1. I wanted to make this episode about leveling up, especially for the beginner box. Now, thankfully, for those of you who play in Foundry, Foundry has a really cool way that it does the level up, where it'll actually upgrade the stats for you automatically. So I'm going to actually hop into Foundry for a minute just to show you how it works. So let's switch over to Foundry. Alright, here we are back in Foundry, and for this one you can see I'm taking my level 1 ranger that we had made back a few videos ago, the little test character, the Anandi Ranger, and he has his level 1 stats over here. And what the good thing is, so if you can look over at his feats, you can see the feats are all picked out. All you have to do to level up your character in Foundry is to change your level from level 1 to level 2, and you'll see the minute I do this, all the stats have upgraded. My HP's up, my AC's up, all my proficiency bonuses have upgraded. We'll say I rested just to have my max HP. So that's all the stat upgrades automatically happen for you in that regard. Then when you go over here to feats, it'll add the slots for the new feats. At level 2, most classes gain a class feat and a skill feat. And just like at level 1, when we made the character, you click on this and it will actually show you all the feats that you are able to pick. It shows you the levels, so that the level 2 ones, as well as the ones that are specifically uncommon. So in this case, I can actually pick, a level 2 feat like Quick Draw, or like Favorite Terrain, if you want to be Classic Ranger. So I'll take Hunter's Aim, for instance, and then just like how we did last time, I'll move this over. You click on it, drag it, boom, there it goes. It's in it. Now for Hunter's Aim, I put it in, gives me a special action to do with my attack. And then Skill Feat, same thing. I can kind of go through and see, okay, what do I want for a level 2 skill feat? So going around, obviously this is just to show you, but you can see all the different options. And the fact that it adds the uncommon ones to the list for you is actually a nice touch, because then you can ask your GM, oh, hey, as a GM, I want to take Medical Researcher, but it says it's a rare feat because it specifically says someone taught me this. You know, it probably comes from a specific place. So you want to make sure that your GM allows you to do such a thing. So like in my case, I might just look at this and go, I'm going to take lead climber. You know, it's because I'm an acrobatic, so why not? And just like that, boom, you've leveled up your character. You added in your feats, you stats automatically upgrade, and that completes the level up. And that is the brilliant thing about using Foundry for this kind of stuff, is that a lot of things are upgraded just like that. Now, yes, there are some things that are different, that are definitely would be more like ability boost when you hit those levels, and stuff like that will have to probably be done manually. But outside of that, it does it pretty well. So let's hop back over into our normal full screen for you guys to take a look at it. And let's talk a bit about the beginner's box so far. I'm really enjoying the beginner's box as a good introduction adventure. It has that basic kind of Dungeons and Dragons tabletop, you know, that classic fantasy vibe of going underground. You fight the classic enemies so far. You know, we fought in rats, spiders, undead, kobolds. Those are all classic enemies to fight. There's nothing crazy, like there's no gelatinous cube or anything like that. But we do get a dragon fight at the end, and who doesn't like fighting a dragon at low levels? Just it's an epic fight to have. So I think the beginner's box does a good job. It's a good job at also showcasing different abilities, flanking, conditioned, persistent damage. Each battle showcases a different thing, and by doing it that way, it doesn't overwhelm my player. I feel like, as I mentioned this in a few of my other videos, the players aren't overwhelmed by the combat itself, more by their choices and what to do with their character, and how to, you know, play with them, with their characters, and work together. I've mentioned that they've struggled in a few episodes, kind of getting hit a lot. This episode, they actually worked a bit better. Strategy slowly coming together. Maybe the dice gods were also in their favor, and it helped that. So they didn't take much damage. They actually fought both of these fights pretty cleanly, and I'm hoping things come together a lot better for the party. They seem to be going towards, and I'm very curious to see how they fight against the kobold boss fight, because the kobold boss fight will be their first mage encounter of the beginner box, as well as the dragon fight, which anybody who knows dragons, you know, breath weapon, draconic frenzy, all this stuff, it's going to be a hefty fight even at level 2. So very curious to see how they handle that kind of fight. So for this specific video, the question of the day, if you will be at level, when you level up, do you look at uncommon features, look at rare features? What kind of things do you guys like about leveling up in Foundry? Do you level up in Foundry? Do you level up in Path Builder or Hero Lab or D&D Beyond, and then you import it into your character sheet? Or do you just level up and then you look at your options? How many of you, before you even level up, how many of you, you know, check your options out, wait, you know, at level 2 I'm going to take this, at level 3 I'm going to take this, and so forth and so forth. I know some players who, you know, they've mapped out their character build all the way to level 20, and some people who don't even look at it until they ding. So which one of you? I would like to know. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps a lot for the channel, and I appreciate everyone who watches and subscribes. So I hope you guys are enjoying these Pathfinder Foundry videos, and thank you guys for watching.